falling ill has escalated into a deadly cough syrup scandal. In the latest, 9 children have lost their lives, and investigators currently are zeroing in on possible drug contamination as the killer. Now, the situation turned grim after authorities confirmed that the death toll has risen from 6 to 9. Initial probe reveals that at least 6 of these children had a history of consuming cough syrup before their condition deteriorated rapidly. And in most of these cases, the pattern is similar, where children were treated for routine cough and cold. They were administered over-the-counter cough syrups, but they developed severe kidney failure within days. Many even showed classic signs of toxicity, sharp decline in urine output, extreme fatigue, and also sudden organ collapse.
Multiple children have died of kidney failure following alleged consumption of contaminated cough syrup in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. Reportedly, over the last 2 weeks, 2 children in Rajasthan have died while several others fell sick after consuming a generic cough syrup. 6 children died in Chhindwara district in Madhya Pradesh due to kidney failure allegedly after consuming the cough syrup. Doctors confirmed that 8 other children aged between 1 and 5 years fell ill in Banswara district after consuming the syrup last week. Following the deaths, the Rajasthan government has banned 22 batches of the syrup and ordered immediate recall of the existing stock. The government's nodal agency for disease surveillance has collected water and entomological drug samples from hospitals and other sites in these 2 states. The samples will be tested to rule out possibility of any infection.
Center of a deadly medical scandal or controversy, possibly a scam. At least 8 children have died in Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, linked allegedly to the same cough syrup. Dozens more have fallen ill. All of them had one thing in common. They were given a cough syrup containing Dextromethorphan, or also goes by the name of DM, a formula that has already failed 40 quality checks. If that wasn't horrifying enough, a government doctor, trying to prove that the syrup was actually safe, took it himself, fainted instantly, ended up in the hospital. So how did this happen? Now, yesterday also on 5 Live, we told you the details of the story. We also told you how kids under 6 actually don't need cough syrups at all. So stop giving it to them. Ask your pediatricians, they know best. But just yesterday, when we told you that story, we also brought out the details of the manufacturer, K. Sons Pharma, which has already been penalized twice for violating drug safety laws. But what we've uncovered since then is even more disturbing. Despite being flagged, despite failing test after test, this syrup kept making its way into government hospitals. How exactly? Who allowed this and why? When confronted, the company pointed fingers claiming that the deaths weren't due to contamination at all, but because of overdosing by the doctors. Really? Is that what happened? So now the question is bigger than just one bad batch. The real problem, is it the company? Is it the supplier? Is it the doctors? Or is it the whole broken drug regulation system that's supposed to keep our kids safe, especially in the most remote corners where access to medication and even education on medical care is very, very weak? Now, in this exclusive 5 Live investigation, we go beyond the headlines to uncover the shocking failure at every level, from the lab to the ward to even the policymakers. This isn't just about one syrup, it's about how easily our health system can be compromised. Watch our full report and then decide for yourself who's really responsible.
A medicine that is common consumption for children is now at the center of a controversy that is anything but common. I told you that the manufacturing company K. Sons Pharma supplied substandard drugs to government hospitals in Rajasthan. It was also penalized once in 2023 and then in February 2025 for the violations in the Drugs Act.
यहाँ पर हम आए हैं देखने के लिए कोई है या नहीं है, मगर ताला बंद पड़ा हुआ है, सोई रखा गया है। और इसके अलावा जो पूजा के फूल आए थे यहाँ पर, वो भी गार्ड के रूम के बाहर है। जो गार्ड यहाँ रहता था उसे भी कंपनी ने हटा दिया है। जो दवाइयाँ
Our correspondent has now found out that as many as 40 samples of the controversial cough syrup failed quality tests over the past 2 years. Now, even though the syrup was banned, its continued supply was facilitated through the Rajasthan Medical Services Corporation Limited. We spoke to the owner of Keson's Pharma, Virendra Gupta. He said that while his company's cough syrups have been banned, this particular one wasn't. His argument is that the incident occurred due to an overdose by doctors. Syrup to prove that it is not harmful, his condition severely deteriorated and he was admitted to a hospital. The doctor gave the syrup to 2 ambulance workers as well, who also fell ill upon drinking it. The Rajasthan government has now formed a 3-member committee to investigate this worrying issue. And for the foreseeable future, Dextromethorphan hydrobromide cough syrups from all companies have been banned. But who is responsible for the deaths and the illnesses amongst children? The manufacturing company, the supplier, the government hospitals, the doctor prescribing the syrup, or the systemic issues in drug procurement and quality control in the country.
First Madhya Pradesh and now Rajasthan. Mysterious deaths of children as young as 5 has shaken up both the states. A 5-year-old child died in Sikar after consuming a cough syrup provided under the state's free medicine scheme. A 3-year-old child in Bharatpur fell seriously ill after taking the same brand of syrup.
भरतपुर और सीकर से शिकायत आई थी कि ये डेक्स्ट्रोमेथोर्फिन सिरप जो है इससे बच्चों को लेने पे परेशानी आई। जांच के लिए सैंपल्स ड्रॉ किए जिसको हमने प्रयोगशाला के अंदर भेज दिए हैं और साथ ही साथ इस दवाई के उपयोग के ऊपर रोक लगा दी गई है।
In Madhya Pradesh, the victim suffered acute kidney failure. Investigation suggests the cough syrups administered to the children contained unsafe levels of diethylene glycol, DEG, a toxic chemical.
4 तारीख से लेके विगत यूँ समझिए कि 26 तारीख तक आपके परासिया क्षेत्र का जो है उसमें से कुल 6 डेथ्स जो है वो रिपोर्ट हुई हैं। उसके अंदर एक सिमिलरिटी पाई गई कि ये जो है कि इनको सबको काज ऑफ डेथ जो है एनोरिया मतलब कि पेशाब का ना बनना और पेशाब का ना होना पाया गया।
The district collector in Madhya Pradesh has imposed a ban on the sale of 2 specific cough syrups. Advisories have been issued for parents, doctors and medical store operators to prevent further casualties.
जो रिस्पॉन्सिबल
से बच्चों की कुछ सुना है कि तबीयत खराब होकर नागपुर रेफर हुए थे, वहाँ उनकी डेथ हो गई है। कोल्ड्रिप सिरप, सर्दी, खांसी, जुकाम, और वहाँ तो पूरे शहर में चलती है। हॉस्पिटल में भी सब जो डॉक्टर हैं वो लोग लिखते हैं।
My colleague Ravish Pal is now joining me on the story. Ravish, this is extremely unfortunate and very alarming. If cough syrups are the reason why we are seeing these deaths taking place.
Aishwarya, as of now, the local administration hasn't received the report about the samples being sent to the center about the cough syrups. Although from 9 of these deceased kids, 6 have already traced with the history of Coldrif and Nextro-DS cough syrup. The remaining 3 kids who were died later, their reports hasn't been received by the local administration because these deaths was reported in Nagpur because they have been sent to Nagpur after initial treatment in Chhindwara. Then because of their deteriorating health, those kids were sent to Nagpur and they have died there. So the local administration in Chhindwara is waiting for the reports from Nagpur. Then only they will confirm about the cough syrup history of these 3 deceased kids also. The irony is all these 9 deaths were reported from the Parasia block of Chhindwara district, and this Chhindwara district is a tribal dominated area. The local administration is suspecting that their family members, their parents regularly they go to quacks or private doctors in the local available markets in these villages, and then after their deteriorating health, they have taken their kids to state government hospitals where their conditions were already critical, and this as of now this become a prominent reason because of these deaths. And now the local administration is only waiting for the final confirmation from center. Is this cough syrup is solely responsible for their death? Because all these 9 kids were admitted to hospitals because of kidney infections.
Right.
to stop the sale of 2 syrups, Coldrif and Nextro-DS, after lab tests have confirmed toxic contamination that may have caused kidney failure in children. Families had no idea that the syrup was the culprit. In fact, parents thought their children were down with seasonal flu and gave the medicine as prescribed by doctors. But soon after, children developed high fever and cold, difficulty in urinating. They were rushed to hospitals. None of them could be saved. The same deadly pattern repeated across all 6 deaths in the last month in Madhya Pradesh. Now, the contaminant that was found in the cough syrup is diethylene glycol. The contaminant that was found is diethylene glycol, which is DEG, an industrial solvent used in paints, in inks, even brake fluids. Experts warn that DEG often sneaks in as a contaminant in glycerine, a sweetener used in oral syrups. Even a small dose can irreversibly damage kidneys and liver. Now, this isn't just in Madhya Pradesh. In Rajasthan, in the most recent case, cough syrup manufactured by Kaison Pharma for the state government, distributed by the state government of Rajasthan, has killed 2 children, and at least 10 of them are currently critically ill. In a shocking case, the doctor who said that the cough syrup is absolutely fine, drank just to prove it's safe, he fell sick and fell unconscious. He fainted after 8 hours, the doctor. And even an ambulance driver has fallen sick after consuming that cough syrup. Now, the Rajasthan government has also cracked down and stopped all supplies of the cough syrup that was initially distributed by the government. In Madhya Pradesh, Chhindwara Collector has banned these syrups. Health teams are currently going door to door and ensuring the state authorities are recalling all suspected batches of this cough syrup. But grieving families say that action has come too late. 6 deaths in Madhya Pradesh, 2 in Rajasthan, 10 critically ill in Rajasthan at this point. This is part of a deadly pattern because in 2023 itself, this was flagged off. Indian-made cough syrups laced with DEG contaminant killed at least 141 children. And worldwide, a lot more, because Indian pharmaceutical companies have supplied these generics to many countries across the globe. In fact, this was also the reason attributed to 66 deaths in Africa among children. Uzbekistan, Gambia, Nepal, they've all banned some of these Indian pharmaceutical companies who are supplying these very cough syrups. So alarm has been raised even in the United States. A case has also been filed on an Indian pharmaceutical company for supplying contaminated generics of this kind. The tragedy, of course, in Madhya Pradesh is not just about the 6 children, but it's also about poisonous medicine that goes unchecked and slips through our India's drug regulator, raising tough questions about oversight, quality checks, accountability. Let me bring in Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, who's the chairperson of Nephron Clinic, to give us a little sense on how this has happened, how this still continues. Sanjeev Bagai, Doctor, 2 years on, 2023, when this was flagged off, to now 2025, it seems like the contaminated batch is still in supply. And you have these people who are largely marginalized section of the society who are receiving these cough syrups. And in Rajasthan, in that case particularly, recently made cough syrups are contaminated and it's killed 2 people, 10 are ill. And it has been sent out by the government. It's shocking the kind of oversight we see here.
Good evening. It's extremely unfortunate to lose the life of innocent small children, and my prayers for the grieving families. Now, this particular toxin, which is a contaminant called as ethylene glycol or diethylene glycol, is a common contaminant in glycerine or glycerol, which is an additive to thicken the fluid solution as far as a cough syrup is concerned. So obviously, if it is there in a higher amount, because the window of safety is very narrow, then this thing is a toxin and it can be lethal. Now, this is very quickly absorbed. Within 20 to 30 minutes, it enters your bloodstream from your intestines. It is very poorly excreted. That means it's basically absorbed in the body, stored in the body, and it harms almost 8 or 9 different organs. But it is mainly the kidneys which have an effect. It goes through 3 phases. The stage 1 is when your child has nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, cramps, hallucinations. Stage 2, within 12 hours, the child goes into acidosis. That means you're producing more amount of metabolic waste in the body. And 3 is when your kidneys shut down. And this is what is called as nephrotoxic. Now, diethylene glycol or ethylene glycol forms after metabolization what we call as oxalic acid. It forms crystals in the kidneys and it blocks your tubules. That means your kidney can no longer function or filter. So the urine stops, means death. In these children, especially when you are looking at a rampant use of this syrup, perhaps many more would have actually consumed it. So the first step is, of course, to check not only this batch, but all batches of the cough syrups in the given area. Check what the level is, check what the contaminant is. 3 is to have a formal autopsy on the bodies, check the levels in the body, and of course a renal biopsy or a kidney biopsy will prove without doubt that there is a contamination or not. But this is a learning lesson.
Yeah.
You cannot have these kind of oversights. It's a systemic failure of processes. Most important, we had the same discussion 2 to 3 years back in 2022-23 when certain batches of cough syrups contaminated. If India has to maintain the image of being the pharma capital of the world, the vaccine capital of the world, we are supplying more than 60% of the world's supplies in pharma. We must maintain international governance and standards, quality control, and standardization.